Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Amoonguss with the buffed Astonish in the Open Great League. And I have to say already, you're going to see every game that I played with this team, 2 sets fully here, and you're gonna see as well a 5-0 with this team. Yes, we're going to run grasshole with this Pokemon, and there's a good reason why, which you can see here already. While the first game we actually kind of misplay a little bit, but you're going to see it later on as well. Sure, stayed in a little bit with my Bastion and go ahead and go for one Flamethrower before I swap out into my Amoonguss. But basically, we're going to run grasshole here because nearly everybody, like literally nearly everybody I encountered, also in the games before, were either running the Skarmory or the Talonflame in the lead. And so having this lead here, plus a lot of times they have like something like a Mudboy in the back with 2 grass type Pokemon in the back, was just so strong in the current meta. And honestly, if you want to have a good team, don't try Amoonguss most likely. Amoonguss is still not a great Pokemon, even though we were able to get 2 shields here from the opponent. But definitely try to, play something like Grasshole if you really want to gain some good elo or like get some good wins. But maybe go for something like Tropius or something like Sableye Sayswap or something like this instead of the Amoonguss. But here sadly we're going to get kind of walled now at the end of the day, which is kind of, I know, my fault. I should have stayed in a little bit with my Bastion before that. Would have been a winnable game if I played a little bit more smart. Next game, of course, against Skarmory. You're going to see that quite often this time around because this is going to happen the entire time. The entire time we're going to encounter like those random, I don't know, flying type leads. They're all and everywhere, which is kind of wild. And did you see this here just now? The Skarmory, for whatever reason, went for an Ice Punch and said that MEWeedle went for the Ice Punch, which was absolutely weird. But here we're going to see one of the cool things about Amoonguss. You're going to be able, as a Shadow variant, I think also as a normal variant, I'm not sure about this one, but as a Shadow variant, you're going to be able to win basically now where they don't run Psychic any neutral scenario against the Medicham. Because you're actually going to be able to farm them down, I think, in the 2-shield scenario, but here we're going to be able to still reach another Grass Knot in time. Grass Knot is going to be a little bit stronger than the Sludge Bomb, but as you can see, the opponent going to swap out, which is fine for us. We can go ahead and go into our Bastion, go for a Flamethrower. Now the matchup for Bastion is not as ideal anymore because their fast move is doing neutral damage instead of double resisted damage, so Steel Wing actually kind of chunks at us, but we're still going to double resist the charge moves of the opponent unless they're running Flash Cannon. So here we're going to now get out the Medicham. We're going to use a shield onto the opponent as we're going to be able to farm them all the way down. There still should be a switch locked, and they're going to have in the back the Azumarill, and like this game is over. And yes, this video is going to be a little bit shorter than the other ones, but it's still 2 full sets. Just this team is very fast to play, which is also more of a benefit. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have a Talonflame in the lead. Again, I said that before, like this is currently the meta that we are playing in. Nearly everybody is currently playing one of the flying type Pokemon in the lead, so it's going to be a little bit of an interesting one. Here we're going to be able to go for a Leaf Blade, gonna get the knockout against the Azumarill already as the opponent can realign their Talonflame. Take a look at the damage of Talonflame, by the way. Holy hell. Against the Victorybell already it was doing a ton of damage, and now it just does even so much more. But we can switch lock the opponent into our Bastion, which is amazing because we still don't really care too much about the flame charge damage, and we can just go for the full farm down basically. But I can also swap out immediately now into my Amoonguss as the opponent going to have their Lantern in the back, and they will not appreciate this matchup as Lantern does not go well against an Amoonguss. We can resist all the moves, but I'm still going to use a shield. Thunderbolt still would hurt me quite a bit, but I should be still very easily able to win this matchup here. I can still get to the Grass Knot. Grass Knot would one-shot them for sure, as we can just jump in front and go for more Astonishes as the opponent goes for the Thunderbolt. Now we can predict this one correctly here, which is kind of nice, and I can go for a Grass Knot to get the final shield from the opponent. They might be able to swap out soon into their Talonflame, which they're gonna go for. I can swap out into my own Pokemon. I can go for the full farm down. And like this, Bastion going to be in a prime position to just finish up this game on its own, as it can take a surf still. I can still just go for a Stone Edge, and a Stone Edge is going to be enough to get them into range where I can smack them down. Could be a little bit scary still if they could farm me down, but they can, so we win this game. Next game coming up, let's take a look what the opponent is going to run here. They're going to run, again, a Skarmory in the lead, and this is going to, again, happen the entire time. Like, you have it so many times, so you're going to have some kind of flying type in the lead, and if they stay in, it's going to be even better for me, because I'm going to be able to get either the shield or get them low enough that even my grass type Pokemon would be able to deal with them. Here, they're going to swap out into the Sableye. I decide to go into my Victorybell because I know that I can use a one shield and still win this matchup, or like at least get to my Leaf Blade in time. Maybe could have stayed in again a little bit more in my Bastion. If I have like such a great lead matchup, I should have stayed in maybe a little bit if the Sayswap is kind of neutral, just to weaken it up a little bit for my own Sayswap then basically. But here they can go for knockout, which is fine for me. I can stay in, I can go ahead and go for some smackdowns against the opponent's Skarmory. as they're gonna go ahead and go for the sky attack. They're most likely going to be able to swap out soon, and they are swapping out into a Wish Cast, catching my charge move, which is still going to be okay for us, as they can swap out into our Amoonguss, and Amoonguss actually does some very solid damage now with Astonish, as we can let this move go through. We can take 2 Mud Bombs with our Amoonguss as well, which is going to be amazing. Not from the Shadow variant. The Shadow variant is way worse for me to deal with, but the normal variant is kinda manageable for me, as you can see here. I can overfarm by quite a bit, go for 1 Grass Knot now, and I should be able to reach another Grass Knot afterwards as well, as the opponent is going to go for their own charge move, but there still should be switch locked at this point, I think, hopefully. Yes, they are, and I can still go for my Grass Knot to knock them out. And so we can move on and go into our Bastion and just win this game, basically. There's nothing the opponent can do here. They're still trying their best. I think they go for a Brave Bird and then forfeit afterwards, and yeah, we can just move on into the next game. Moving on, let's take a look at what the opponent is going to run here. We're going to have another flying type Pokemon. What a surprise. We're going to have Pelipper, which does make a lot of sense, by the way, in the current meta, as we can go into our Victorybell and the game is already over. See, the opponent decides to forfeit. Easy game there, and that's also why the video is a little bit shorter, but we're going to take a look at the next opponent. Going to have an Altaria in the lead, and they're going to swap out into a Klefki. I still have to keep my Bastion alive, but Klefki is usually running Foul Play plus Play Rough or something. I'm not actually sure what the other move is. I have actually a Klefki build right now, so let me check what the other move is. I know what they are running though. So we're going to see it soon as well, which kind of confused me a little bit because I didn't know that the Pokemon could even run this move. It's going to be Flash Cannon. Does a lot of damage. But yeah, usually you run Play Rough on this Pokemon. At least my one has this one move as well, but here they're going to run Flash Cannon, which is going to be a little bit worse for me. I still have to keep my Bastion alive, but they're going to swap out into, I think, their Galarian Stunfisk or something. I can swap into my Amoonguss and still get to a Sludge Bomb against the opponent's Altaria. This will allow me to get them insanely low, basically low enough that our Bastion should be able to farm them down. And I still have 2 shields left, which is going to be very crucial for the matchup against the Galarian Stunfisk later on, because our Victorybell is not going to have the greatest matchup there. We might still be able to survive this move from the Altaria. Let's take a look at this. Yes, we do. And sadly, they can farm me down before I can go for the Flamethrower. Flamethrower would have been nice. But now we can try to go for the Acid Spray. You see me already spamming that button there, but we are not there yet. We're going to have to use a shield against the Rock Slide. We're going to get them low already. Maybe it would not even be worth it to go for another Acid Spray here in general, but I think it's going to still be fine. We're going to do more damage now with my fast move. And they're going to go for 1 charge move again. Hopefully they don't have another one, because then it might be a little bit tricky. They have another charge move. Can we survive the Rock Slide? Let's take a look at this. We can. Okay, that's going to be a good game. Moving on, let's take a look what the next opponent is going to do here. They're going to have a Lickitung. This is going to be a little bit of an awkward one, because we're going to have to stay in here. Our Victorybell is still fine. Our Amoonguss, of course, going to have a double resisted fast move with Astonish. Thing is, as you're going to see soon, the opponent is most likely very weak against Bastion in the back, and I would predict that they're going to have something like a Flying type in the back. Why is this the case? Because the opponent decides to shield up the first charge move already from the Bastion, and they decide to stay in here. So the likelihood of them having at least one Pokemon insanely weak to Bastion in the back is fairly high, but I'm in a really weird spot here right now, because I can take advantage of this Lickitung, but I cannot really take advantage of the situation itself, because I kinda gonna be very low here. I'm going to have mostly a switch advantage plus a shield advantage if I do it correctly here. But if my Bastion is down, they have something in the back that is like a Flying type. My backline does not really appreciate it. So we're going to see here that they're going to swap out into the Sableye. I swap out immediately, and they're staying in. So they definitely don't have like something like a Skarmory in the back, which I was fearing at this point. So I can just freely play on here, and we're going to see what they actually have in the back, which is the Ninetales. And I'm not going to go for the Acid Spray, because I just want to get the shield from the opponent. I don't really care too much about it. I want to sweep endgame with Amoonguss. And this is why I sacrifice now my Bastion. I know that they're going to have a charge move stored. I'm going to let this move go through. And Amoonguss should be able to get 2 Astonishes in here. And then it's only, I think, like 3 more to get to a charge move. As the opponent's Sableye is coming in, the Grass Knot is coming through. And this is going to get an easy knockout for the Amoonguss again, as this Pokemon is literally destroying everybody right now. Next game coming up, let's take a look at this one. A little bit bugged, but this was my favorite game of them all. Great deed for us, but we're gonna see here incoming the Medicham, and Amoonguss is going to show why it's so strong right now, or like why it's kind of buffed with the Astonish, I feel like. We're going to be able to take a nice punch from the opponent's Medicham, as we can reach another charge move with the Grass Knot coming through. We're gonna get them low, and I can even farm them down in time. And the cool thing here is, I'm still going to be able to reach another charge move very soon, and a lot of people expect me to run Foul Play on this Pokemon, which would be resisted. invested onto the alone Ninetales. But it's not foul play, it's going to be the Sludge Bomb, and so the opponent goes down and they're going to have the Swampert in the back, which does not appreciate the Victorybell, and this is going to be an easy win. Next opponent, we're going to have another great lead force with the Shadow Skarmory against us, but sadly in comes here the Vigoroth, and you see me staying in for a little bit longer. Issue here is for me, I was thinking it might be something like Lickitung, it might be some other kind of normal type Pokemon, so you always have to be a little bit more aware of it. You have to look out a little bit more. But the issue here is I'm forced to go into my Victorybell because my lead is gonna get completely destroyed. My Amoonguss has a double resisted fast move, and so Victorybell is my only option, and so I'm now at 1 shield down, as well as I can at least go ahead and go for the Acid Spray. But I'm forced to go back into my Bastion, go for the full farm down here, and I only have my Amoonguss in the back. I expected that they're most likely going to have something like a Mudboy in the back, but I try to get the attack, or like the HP a little bit lower from them here, as I can go for a Stone Edge, and we will see that I can still let those Mud Bombs go through, but I kinda hoped at this point that I could farm them down just with my fast moves alone of Amoonguss, and of course I'm still going to try to get the shields away, because I should be able to hopefully get some more energy later on against the Skarmory with my Bastion, but we see here that maybe if I had better IVs on my Amoonguss, I would have been a little bit less into range for a Mud Shot down, which might be kind of cool, but they're gonna go ahead and go for a Mud Bomb, and they can swap out perfectly onto the Skarmory, which is really bad for me. I had to basically hit this move. I think if I hit the move, I still had a decent chance of winning this game if they had to shield there and then swapped out. But like this, we're going to be in a very tough spot. While we were winning the lead, the Say Swap literally just killed me a little bit, because Vigoroth Say Swap is, I mean, maybe this is going to be a little bit more common this season, but it's going to be a little bit tricky for this lineup to deal with. Again, if you have other Pokemon in the back, for example, something like a Tropius, you're going to have a little bit of a better time, even though Tropius now gets super effective damage as well from the rock side, so maybe the matchup shifts around a little bit as well. But you could also still use this team here with Medicham as a Say Swap as well, which a lot of people did back in the day, but this is going to be sadly a close loss. Good game to the opponent though. Final game for today, we're going to encounter a Poliwrath Elite. Horrific for us, but we can swap out into the Amoonguss, and we're going to get out the Charizard. This was a little bit too fast, my friend. This is going to be definitely just a Dragon Claw, and so I will be able to just go for one more fast move, go for a Sludge Bomb, and the Sludge Bomb is going to get either the knockout or the shield advantage. We're going to get the shield advantage here, and I definitely take it. I sadly don't get to another move. But honestly, I don't know really what they try to do here, because I can go into my Bastion. Bastion will be able to just go for the full farm down, but they can take still the Blast Wind here. Blast Wind is around like 30% or something. Yeah, around there. Like, Bastion is so bulky, it's insane. But I can swap out now into my Victorybell, and I have to hope they can still win this game. In comes in the back a Drapion, which is going to be able to resist all my moves. So far so bad, but honestly, I thought already at this point of time, because I have 2 shields advantage, or like 2 shields in general, I might still have a chance of winning this game, because I just have to get them low enough for a Leaf Blade, and I will be able to get them low enough for a Leaf Blade. They should have 2 crunches right now, but I will be able to get to a Leaf Blade here just in time, win the CMP tie, going to knock them out, and so I force the opponent's Poliwrath to still throw a charge move, as well as we can get them insanely low. And we will be able to just go ahead now into our Bastion. We have some extra energy stored, and we just have to reach one more Stone Edge, and this is going to be it for this game. And this is also going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Check out the video on the screen right now as well. It's about Suicune with a new move in the Open Great League, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.